This tutorial is about creating categorical variables. As we know from the previous lesson, there are two types of variable, categorical and continuous. As exercise data, we have categorical data as gender in the presentation. In the left column, the gender is entered as male and female, and the right column we also have gender. But in the left column, we have string data. String data is non-numerical and in words. The right column data is numeric data and it is in numbers. Whenever the data is written in text or words, also previously mentioned, is a qualitative data. And if the data is in numbers, such as in the right column, is numeric data. Let's first enter a string data manually in SPSS. Here we have an SPSS interface. To enter any kind of data in SPSS, we need to create a variable first. We are in currently variable view. In the variable view, at the top left corner, the first system column is for variable numbers. In the first row, under the name, type the variable name, that is gender. As soon as I write the variable name and hit enter, the variable will be created and other information pertaining to the variable will also appear in the row, such as type, width, decimal, label, values, missing, column, align, measures. The first option, name, where gender is written, is actually a variable name, and usually, as a good practice, should be at least 8 characters. And if you want to add more information about the variable, go to the label section and type in the information about variable. The second thing we want to do is to select a variable type. The two most common types are string and numeric. By default, when a variable is created, system chooses the type of variable as numeric. Since we are creating the data that is a non-numeric, we need to click on numeric and the 3-dot option will be available. Click on it and you will have a bunch of options to select from. We need to choose string as data. So second last option in the list is string. Click on the option and press OK. Now we'll be able to enter string data. Then we have width. Width is useful when the string data is being entered and you can limit how many characters or letters to have in each cell the data is being created. By default it is 8, and if I choose a width of 3 and try to write a word with more than 3 characters, it won't proceed. Let's change the width from 8 to 3 and try to enter a variable with more than 3 characters. I'll switch from variable view to data view and enter a variable that is a string data female, and you would notice I can't write more than 3 characters. It's limiting me to write only 3. I've been only able to write 3 characters. It's not letting me write more than 3. So let's just switch back to the variable view and put it to default 8 characters and just go back to the data view, and if I type again variable female, and it will let me type more than 3 characters. Let's switch back to the variable view and it's by default 8 and it's letting me type 8 characters. The fourth option, decimal, is an important and also handy tool as it shows the decimal after a period. Depending on your data type as well as how you want your data to be displayed, you can choose the decimals from this option. Currently it's set to 0. And at this point, we don't need the decimals as the data is string, not numeric. At this point, we'll skip the value options. As we have already discussed the label and moved to measures, as mentioned previously, gender is a qualitative data as well. Data with no specific order, therefore, we will select nominal as a measurement scale for this variable gender. As you can notice from the measure drop-down menu, we have only 2 options currently available, ordinal and nominal. And this is since not an ordinal data, a nominal data with random order, I would choose nominal. When you first create a variable, the system does not select measurement scale as nominal by default. I will create another variable to show you. Let's just create another variable named age. And if I press enter, you would notice it says unknown and does not specify what measurement scale it is. And if I have to choose and I choose this variable to be an ordinal data or a scale data, I can select from this drop-down option. Let's just create another variable, gender 2, and if I hit enter, and from the data type, if I select string, you will notice the scale measurement automatically turns to nominal. So if you choose a variable type string, the measurement scale will automatically change. Let's enter the data for the current variable. Click on the data view, and you will notice the variable in the top left corner and type in the data. Let's switch back to the presentation, and as you can see, gender as a string data, I have male, female, male, 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 female, male, 8 entries. Let me enter this data in SPSS by quickly looking at it and switching between the two applications. So I have just created a string variable gender with two categories, male and female, and I have entered 8 responses. So let's create another variable with more than 2 categories. For that, I have another variable. Let's switch back to the presentation, and I have religion, another variable. It's a multi-categorical variable. Let's just enter this variable very quickly to demonstrate how we would enter a multi-categorical variable. To enter a variable, the drill will be the same. We will go to the variable view and create another variable. Let me create a variable named religion. And as soon as the variable is created, you can see it's by default numeric. Let me switch it to the string data and hit OK. And you'll notice the system chooses the measurement scale as nominal, and it is by default 8 characters. And if I have a word that is more than 8 characters, it should be more than 8. And now from the data view, you will notice a religion variable column will appear. Now I will enter the data in this column. Let me switch back to the presentation to view the data. So I have Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism as responses from the religion category. So let me quickly add this data in SPSS. As you notice, I cannot enter more than 8 characters, and Christianity is more than 8, so I'll switch back to the variable view. And for the whole column, I would choose the width to at least 15 characters on a safer side. So if I have a variable more than, let's say, 10 or 12 characters, it will still let me type in the variable name. I can copy data from any written document and paste it over to the data view. So as you've noticed, Christianity is more than 8 characters, and I'm able to type in or copy paste 8 characters. That is because I have from variable view already chosen a width to 15, and it let me type in more than 8 characters. So let's just switch back and enter rest of the data. So that is how we can create categorical variable that is a string data. So in this section, we've learned how to create a 2 categorical variable that is male and female, and we have also created a multi-categorical string variable that is religion. And also we were able to enter a variable with more than 8 characters, and for that I have chosen a width of 15 from a variable view, so I can enter any variable with more than 8 characters.